If you clicked on this video, then you probably do fit the type to invest. But there is a chance you are still young and recently stumbled across the world of personal finance, in which case you should definitely stick along to determine if investing is for you. When I say investing in personal finance, I don't mean as a career, although if you do have a career in finance, maybe as an accountant or a financial attorney, then the answer should be obvious. Investing is absolutely something you will be interested in. But in the case that you don't have a career in this field, the answer is more complicated than just always investing. The short answer is, since you clicked on this video, investing is meant for you. The long answer is much more complicated. One thing I want to point out is the massive amount of reward that comes with investing that can't really be replicated doing anything else. Soon you will learn that not investing is handicapping your future, hence why I started this channel. This one quote summarizes my opinions on investing. There are many things we want to do in life. I'm sure many of us, myself included, would love not to have money in the back of our minds 24/7. You can just buy whatever you want, do whatever you want, whenever you want, wherever you want, however you want, with whomever you want, whyever you want, whatever you want. If you want to eat at the finest restaurants, just go there, sit down, order the biggest, juiciest steak available with the purest of wines. If you want to travel the world, fly first class to Paris, London, Budapest, Miami, visit the Great Pyramids of Giza, Niagara Falls, and all the other wonders of the world that life has to offer. If you want to stay at home every day, you are also free to do that as well. There are many things in life you probably want to do, and that is completely fine. However, unless you are a new subscriber to life, then you probably realize that it's not that simple. There is always something in our way that tries to stop us, and at least in the examples I gave, money is that obstacle that finds a way to limit our freedom. At this point, you're probably thinking that if I had just this much more money, then I could just be this much more free. And this one thought is what sparked my interest in investing in personal finance. Freedom, the thing America stands for, land of the free and home of the brave. I realize not everyone watching this video will be from America, but honestly it doesn't matter. The concepts in this video should apply to everyone regardless of where you live. Money is so ingrained into society that I don't really blame people who think life is all about money. Don't get me wrong, I still think it's shallow for one's life to revolve around money, but I cannot deny that society has engraved this thought into our animal minds. Think about it. Ever since we are kids, what does society tell us to do? Go to school? Not only does society tell us to do that, society makes us do that. We spend the entirety of our childhoods attending school, trying to get good grades, and hopefully accepted into a respectable university where you can then get a high-paying job. As a matter of fact, at least in the States, it is literally illegal for kids from the ages of 6 to 16 to not attend school. And why are we forcing them to attend school? Okay, I'll admit, one of the big reasons is their general education, but an even bigger reason is money. One of the biggest investors who funded the American schooling system is John D. Rockefeller. John D. Rockefeller, for those who are unfamiliar, is an American businessman who was considered one of the richest person in history, and he was actually the richest person in America during his time. And the lesser known fact about him is that he is largely credited as the person for making the modern schooling system. The same schooling system that enforces the idea that people need to come to school every day, get good grades, so they can get a better job that pays them more money. According to Rockefeller, he wants a nation of workers, not thinkers. A nation of workers who can make more money and help him make more money without working. Already discussed how most of our childhood is spent in school, whose purpose largely revolves around money, but it gets even worse when you're an adult. Now you actually have to work. And not only do we just have to work, we work for the majority of our lives, from the ages of 22 to 67, which is the current retirement age in America. That difference is huge. 45 years. 45 years working a job many people feel unsatisfied with. 45 years that could be spent doing literally anything else. Life expectancy differs depending on where you live, but here in America, it's about 76 years. That means of the 76 years of life we have to live, we spend 45 or about 60% of it working, and if you account for the 22 years of schooling you have to go through, that's at least 88% of our lives worrying about money. When I say I don't blame people for having money on their minds 24/7, this is kind of what I mean. For some reason, it does play a huge role in our lives, and even if you're amongst the very few people whose life doesn't revolve around money in some way, you can't deny that you're surrounded by people whose life does. Sooner or later, you will have an encounter with money-related issues. The main issue here is freedom. Our time in this world is limited, and I think we would all rather spend our time doing the things we enjoy over literally anything else. But of course, you run into that issue of low funding, and that's where investments come in. If you invest your money properly, you can resolve this issue with ease. There are many reasons to invest, but the one that resonates with me the most is the idea of passive income. Passive income is exactly what it sounds like, generating income passively, the opposite of which is active income. Active income is something you'll be familiar with if you ever worked a regular job. You wake up in the morning, get ready for work, spend 30 minutes commuting to work, come back home from work, then get ready to go back to work the next day. All this for a paycheck we call income. I'm not saying that working is always a waste of time, but if a genie came out of a lamp to grant you your current income, but the constraint is you have to not go to work, would you? So basically, if you make the average salary of $50,000 a year, do you want that working your current job? Or do you want that doing whatever you want? If this sounds like an obvious answer to you, then you likely fall into the category of people who hate their jobs, in which case passive income might be an attractive life goal for you. At the heart of it, passive income is anything that can generate you income without having to work. The most common method you see people obtain this is by owning a business. Instead of going to work to help a boss you hate make more money, you become that boss and own a business that pays you for owning it. I used to have a boss that bought a new car every year, and one year he pulled up with a silver-plated Rolls-Royce Phantom. I was awestruck and told him, "Nice car." He told me, "If you show up to work every day on time, work hard, put in the hours, and strive for excellence, then I can buy another one next year." I knew then and there that working a regular job wasn't meant for me. But this video isn't about all the ways you can make passive income, it's whether investing in passive income is meant for you. If anything I said today bothers or resonates with you, investing is probably something you should look more into. But I do want to drive home one key point despite everything I've said so far. Nothing in life comes without sacrifice. Remember this, if it were easy, then everybody would be doing it. There is this concept of then and now. When do you want to live a life of freedom? Now when you are young, or then when you are older? Ideally all the time, but no one is ever born in an ideal situation. This concept is why I dropped this quote earlier. It takes time, effort, and energy to accomplish your goals, and this is 100% true for financial goals as well. This means you will likely have to make sacrifices when you are young in order to live better when you are older. These sacrifices may include, but are not limited to, living frugally, spending less money than you have, not dining out at fancy restaurants, driving a Camry, living with a roommate, working 2 jobs, getting a side hustle, going out less, cheaping out on gifts, no luxury vacations, buying clothes at the thrift store, using coupons, not throwing out disposable Tupperware, making coffee at home, saving leftovers, cut out unused subscriptions, sell everything that you are no longer using. The list of things you have to do is endless. It's ironic that I mentioned getting a second job and a side hustle in there, because that's kind of what we're trying to avoid with our passive income idea. But usually with passive income, you have to put in the work upfront and live off the rewards later. It's similar to planting an apple tree, where at first, when you plant this little seedling, you have to wait years for it to grow. But once it does grow, you have a relatively easy way to get food whenever you want. Despite this, I still understand if people don't want to invest. Let's say you know you will die at the age of 60. Does it matter whether or not the first 30 years of your life or the latter 30 years of your life is the section of your life you enjoy? To some people, it doesn't matter, and that does kind of make sense. Either way, it's 30 years. So what's the difference? All of our life experience seem to be amplified when we are younger. So it makes sense that we want to live life while we're young. After all, you don't want to miss out on life. However, it is also important to remember that you want to go out with a bang. So sacrificing some years to achieve that is also worth it. All this just to come to the realization that life is about balance. Investing is more common and popular amongst older people. When people get in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, that's when they start to take their finances very seriously. But as we get older, it becomes more and more difficult to build wealth. Balance is the idea of having just the right amount of everything. Too much of one thing can be a bad thing, even something healthy like broccoli. There's an opportunity cost to everything. You want to balance this aspect of life to make sure you're living in the right moment, while not handicapping your future. This leads us to the concept of delayed gratification. Delayed gratification in the simplest form is just pushing off things you enjoy now to later, so you can enjoy more of it. I can't find the video anymore, but it's basically a video of a parent telling their kids who love Oreos that they can either have one right now or two when they come back home. One kid ate the cookie right now and the other waited, and you can see how angry the kid who didn't delay gratification got. This concept of delayed gratification also applies in the world of personal finance. However, that is a complicated topic that also requires you to understand compound interest, dividends, and other concepts. So if that is something that interests you, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated when those videos drop.